Hey, shitheads! Welcome to Cyborg New Gods. I'm your game master, Dale, and I'm gonna be taking you dreckheads, you gutter punks, on a trip through the worst city in the world. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to do some good in this shithole. This is a Cyborg actual play podcast using the Cyborg OSR rules, available on DriveThruRPG or from Free League Publishing. Let's get right into it. Punks! Shouldn't go over promising. So, you went on a vacation, it ended up being profitable, and now you think you're top shit! Well, I'm here to kick your ass back into gear, because you've got a job for Vera Coilings! And she's not the kind of gal who's gonna settle for second-rate work. And so, we begin tonight's session with you all gathered in Tech Noir, the nightclub in the midst of the ports, the place where you met Doc Tate that very first time. And the meeting resulted in a gunfight. There's no evidence of that gunfight ever having taken place. The bullet holes have been quite neatly covered up, filled in, painted over. Upholstery that was damaged in the firefight has been replaced. The glass dance floor shattered by stray bullets is as good as new. And there's a big gleaming neon sign above the bar that blinks on and off, simply stating, "No guns, no guns, no guns." Aside from that, the clientele don't even seem to remember that anything happened. Not that long ago, the new rock music swells, a constant assault on your senses, and on the dance floor, a mob of wolfcore punks howl and woo every time the music reaches a climax, painfully shoving each other, baring their fangs of their wolf masks and playfully pouncing at each other, while a cadre of mobstercore guys and gals glare at them from the fringes of the dance floor, tossing up whether they want to muscle off their arch enemies and take this place for themselves. You're all seated in one of the cramped booths, a short distance away from the dance floor, far enough away from the bar and the party goers that it gives you a small degree of privacy, but not far enough away from the constant barrage of ads and propaganda streaming from the screens that are papered along the back wall. And with all of the public networks down, thanks to the mindworms flooding the net, the ads aren't even targeted to you tonight. They're as generic as they come. Cat food, life insurance, new spark plugs for your car, 2-minute ramen with that authentic Neo-Tokyo taste. It's all beaming into your retinas tonight, folks. You've just arrived, and Vera Coilings is waiting for you, seating across the table, her arms folded, glaring at you, curling her bottom lip in greeting as she motions for you to sit down. She looks as alluring as ever, wearing her usual form-fitting leather bodice and pants. Her face dressed up to the nines, and her olive-coloured skin gleaming all sorts of different colours as the neon flashes around you. Her left arm is emblazoned with punk and hacker collective tattoos, and her trademark coiling of barbed wire wrapped around her forearm adds an air of the menacing to her. Okay, she says, leaning over the table, folding her hands together. We're all here, though technically this is Ghost's job. You're the one my collective is interested in, but I acknowledge that if you're gonna get anything done for us, the rest of you come along. Packaged deal, right?
So long as the fee be right. Of course.
Fees, yeah. So, you wanted to start up front with money? Let's start up front with money, she says. I've spoken to the collective, and given what exactly we're tasking you with doing, they are prepared to offer 3,000 credits. Half for your debt, and half in pocket. 1,500 both ways. And that includes Ivan's finder fee. Because I know Mr. Look at me, big bear wrestling hairy man Fixer would be quite angry at you if you did not at least advocate on his behalf. But, and I'm not suggesting you should, you want to cut the middleman out of this whole deal? I'll add another 500 to both halves. 4,000 all up. But you'll be the ones who have
the group.
A piece. My collective has hands in some deep pies.
It sounds like they got hands in very high places too. What could you possibly want us to do for that much money?
Oh, speaking of high places, Hellboy, she says, smiling mischievously. We found out where the Virid Vipers are manufacturing Vert, and who their go-between is, who's negotiated that sweet deal they've got with Allianson. So, the collective wants you to go and crash the joint, put the Vert production out of action, and while you're at it, bump off the leader of the whole outfit. She's a Virid Viper OG. Goes by the name of Jinghai Sloan.
What, we're doing wet work now? It's the
Work.
opposite of... Oh, well, alright, I suppose.
And that be why you're offering some top-shelf money, at least for this tier of work.
She nods. My collective have been working overtime to even find out where Jinghai is based. And to determine that right now is the best window to have a shot at her. See, Jinghai's holed up on the 30th floor, penthouse suite of an apartment tower down in the in-betweens. Burnchurch Hex, to be precise. Somewhere in that tower, she's running the Vert operation. You've got to take that out. But when you do take it out, you've got to beeline straight for the 30th floor, for the penthouse, and take out Sloan herself. That'll make sure that the Vert operation is not built back up, at least for the time being, and it will put an end to whatever deal Allianson has with the Virid Vipers. Furthermore, Jinghai's got a data key on her person. It's in her cranial cyber deck to be precise. And we want the data on it. At least my collective does. It's going to prove very valuable in determining exactly what sort of deal Allianson had with the Virid Vipers and to what ends they were working. Maybe even something to do with Project Old Gods. I know Doc Tate's mentioned that to you a few times, and you gotta be curious.
Hold on, something about this doesn't add up. You want to pay us a ridiculous amount of money to just wander on into a corp office, right to the Bent house, and shoot them in broad daylight, middle of the night, something like that, and just walk back out again.
She nods and smiles. Yeah, that's why we are being paid such an, shall I say, exorbitant amount of money. Don't get me wrong, Jinghai Sloan is fairly influential within the Virid Vipers. She's gonna be guarded. She's probably going to be aware that someone's out to take a crack at her, and getting up to the 30th floor is gonna be half the battle in and of itself. So yeah, I think you are earning this. There are some who'd call it a suicide mission, but you guys have built a reputation for yourselves, and if anyone has a chance of getting in there, knocking the bitch off and getting out again, I think you guys can.
I'm not going to say I'm not intrigued, and well, going out into the middle of Ground Zero, we prove to ourselves we can do pretty much anything we put our minds to, but this is the corpse. Like, are you familiar with what they're like? From the inside, that is.
She smiles. Yeah, that's why no one in my collective's gonna be the one who fires the bullet that kills her. That's gonna be on your heads. But don't worry, we're not gonna leave you high and dry. She looks over at Ghost and she says, Ghost, my gal, you would be quite knowledgeable on how to cover tracks within corporate databases and make sure that your group get a head start on hiding or getting away from whoever may be sent after them as a result of this.
Honey, I've been hiding from Corp since I was 5.
See, you've got Ghost on your side, and you got Ghost. She is and as she says the next words, there's a clear look of smug resignation on her face. She's one of the best in the city at this game, okay? And my collective will be throwing in an additional boon. You see, when you get that data chip out of Sloane's head and bring it to me, we'll have At this, she leans over and starts peering across the dance floor. The song ends and a guitar riff echoes through the establishment as all of the Wolf Core party goers howl in unison. Ooh! And then they part, allowing a unusually tall, thin man wearing a blue tailored suit, complete with tie and extremely disheveled, frazzled hair and thick spectacles to step out from the dance floor, make a beeline straight to your booth. He nods curtly to Vera and then gives the rest of you a brief glance before he slides down into the booth, taking a seat next to her. This is Johnson, says Vera, nudging him with her elbow. He's a rookie in our collective, and, well, his initiation so happens to be helping us get some good dirt on Allianson. When you bring that chip that you got from Sloane to me, Johnson's gonna be the one who's responsible for hacking into it and dispensing the juicy details contained therein onto the dark webs. And while he's there, hacking that information and using whatever access code Sloane has in her head to access Allianson's databases, he's going to be scrubbing any mention of your names or faces or personages from the system. At this, Johnson just nods. He looks over at you and he says, I'll do my very best. You've got my word. And Ghost, he holds out a impossibly pale, almost skeletal hand, and he says, can I express how much of an honor it is to have the pleasure of meeting a living legend like yourself, the Ghost?
You can from a distance.
Looking somewhat perturbed, he pulls back his hand and says, sorry, I didn't mean no offense or nothing. It's just, gosh, Ghost in the flesh herself. I don't know what to say. Vera shoots him a look and says, go ahead, Jonathan.
So, herself? What do you mean?
Well, he looks over at Ghost and says, everyone on the webs knows, Ghost's secret is that, she's just a teenage girl, and I mean, she's sitting right there, and...
That's funny, nobody ever told me that.
At this,
That's what you're saying.
He frowns and shrugs, and he looks at Vera, and he says, I'm right? I mean, she really looks like that, like, I'm seeing a young girl wearing a maid's outfit with pink hair. Am I right?
You know, man, that says a lot more about you than it does me.
Vera roll.
They look
Vera
more like a grizzled 25-year-old to me.
Looks can be deceiving, mate, says the middle-aged woman dressed in a pirate uniform across from Ghost.
At this, Vera nods knowingly, and then she turns to Johnson and she says, how about, for the sake of preserving whatever shred of dignity you have left in the presence of your idol,
Too late.
you just shut the fuck up.
You said he's new, right?
Brand new. Outside of the
shows.
outside of the basic stuff he's done for us, siphoning bank accounts, scrubbing cred chips and the like, this will be pretty much his first big gig. And at this, Jonathan nods. He clasps his hands together like a Japanese salaryman, and he says, don't worry, it's my honor to serve you, and I promise I'll do my very best. I learned from the very best vids on the web that you can find, and I am fully prepared to face any consequences that may fall upon me for messing up.
How about this? Ghost, do you think you could give him a bit of a test? I'm not sure he's up to the job. I don't know exactly how it all works, but surely you could whip something up so that he can prove to us that he's not going to leave us all high and dry with the corpse breathing down our necks and shooting us in our sleep.
Vera peers over at Ghost and says, hey, good idea. Should be pretty easy for you to rig up some basics. Set up a partition of your RED or something, see if he can hack into it. Got any ideas?
Yeah, no, I can do that. And while Ghost just sets up some pretty decent encryption on a little drive, they're going to say, hey Vera, how do you see me?
How do I? At this, she smiles and says, I see you, okay, look. You managed to lock out Johnson here, and I'll tell you. Deal?
Alright, then.
I'd like Ghost to go ahead and make a knowledge technology roll for me, and I'm going to compare it to what Jonathan rolls.
You got it.
Oh, you mean
I don't
Johnson?
think I'm in the alley.
Johnson, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't need to roll anything.
No.
Did we get an Aldale name?
Yes, we do. I will paste that in here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Lucky... I forgot to paste... I'll put it in lucky dice for you.
Just a bad
So while this is going on, Kitty is going to lean over to Vera Coiling and say, "Let's make a little wager, shall we?"
I'm all ears.
If Ghost makes something he can't crack, then why don't you up the ante by providing fake IDs for all us?
You mean for the job, or do you want
For the
me to-
job. Just something that'll work for the job.
You got it, she says.
Do you really think that'll work?
What was the roll again?
Knowledge technology.
Cool. That's 21.
21. Ooh, he got 20. His face screws up in concentration as he glares over the table at Ghost, and rather than unslinging a cyber deck from around his neck, he reaches down underneath the table, hoists a silver briefcase up onto the table and unlatches it and pulls out a Allianson 1000 that looks like it's barely been used. The sticker, the sticker that protects the casing from gathering dust while it's displayed in the store is still on the case. The cyber deck itself isn't anything to sneeze at. The Allianson 1000 is a fairly respectable mid-level tier cyber deck. It's not something that'll blow anyone away, but it is far more powerful than most of the entry-level models, including the Futura 250 that Ghost is still rocking. At least if it was still in its stock form. Biting his bottom lip, his fingers slam across the keyboard and he types furiously, only for a big red cross to appear in the middle of Ghost's retina display. Bop, bop. He sighs. Well, I almost had it, he says, shrugging. You just had that extra layer in there, right at the end. I should have packed an extra app cartridge.
You really should.
Well, with 4 fake IDs added to the list, and Jonathan backing us up, I'm willing to give it a shot.
At this, Vera Coilings glares at Johnson. He shrugs, rolls his eyes.
Johnson
types a command on his cyber deck and hits the enter key. There. I've entered your names into the database of residents for the apartment tower. Should get you in without causing any alarms to go off up in Jing Hai's penthouse.
Works for me.
This sounds like a much better deal. I feel like we're going to come out of this maybe in one piece.
Just for the record, it's not like Ghost bodied me or anything. I nearly had it. If she didn't have that last layer of defense that shredded my copy swappy, I would have got it.
Sweetheart, you can just say you were distracted by the maid outfit.
Kitty reaches out and Johnson feels a much smaller hand pat his own. There, lad. This is why she be going on the run and ye be doing our backup. And
hey,
you do look to have some skill, eh? Keep us alive, eh? That's all we be asking.
He nods. Well, I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting with Vera for that chip and, hopefully no Virid Vipers. Vera smiles, commiserating with him. And then she says...
So once we get it, where's the meeting spot?
So, I think it'd be safe enough to meet here. It's way out in the in-betweens. It's a long way between then and here, so, I'm not expecting anyone to follow you. Though if you do have a tail, make sure you shake it before you come here. We don't want to shoot the place up again.
Actually, one more question. Is there a best time of day when we should pay her a visit?
She looks at you, and then she
The last thing we want to do is go all the way up and fight all the way in there, and she won't be home.
taps her index finger under her ear. Good point, she says. You see her pupils flash from left to right as she reads something on her retina display, and then she shrugs, folds her arms, and says, right now.
Oh! Well, is everybody else prepared?
Sloane's
for
in
that?
her penthouse holding a party. It's gonna go until at least midnight tonight. After that, things are winding down, and who knows where she'll be.
That works. So just to be clear, we're to go in, find the Vert lab, shut it down with extreme prejudice, then boogie up to the top floor and grab her. Aye.
Gun her down, chop her head off, push her through the windows, whatever you gotta do. Just make sure you get that chip out of her head.
All right.
Sorry, and to be 100% sure, there's a Vert lab we've got to find there as well.
It's somewhere in the building. We don't know what floor it's on. We know it's not on the top floor. That's Sloane's penthouse. So, you just gotta keep your eyes out as you make your way up. Or find a plan or something.
Guess have our work cut out for us. I guess that's
The
why you're
co-
paying us the big dollars.
The collectives wanted to send people to scout it out, but it's been too dangerous with everything going on with the Vipers, and yeah, that's why you're being paid the big bucks. So, the place itself, Radling Block subsection A. It's down in Burnchurch Hex. And you probably won't know it when you see it because it looks damn near the same as all the other buildings in that part of town. But I'm about to send you some coordinates. She taps her temple and then beep beep. The marker appears on your retina display. Follow that, and you should get into the right building. Once you're in there, you're on your own. We don't know if the whole building's under her control or just some of it, but either way, expect trouble.
Hey, Vera.
Any questions? She says, winking.
Our little arrangement.
It seems like you still owe us something.
Fine, she says. Remind me, Ghost, so that everyone can hear.
What do I look like to you?
Yeah. She sighs, rolls her eyes, and says, let's just say you're big, distinctly masculine, quite unmistakably masculine. You have a lot of hair, and you look distinctly Eastern European.
No, Vera, you little trad wife.
At least, whatever protocol you've got running does not filter your voice because... Oh, I've said too much. And don't mention this to Ivan by any chance, please.
Oh, that's why you didn't want to say anything. Don't worry, our lips are sealed.
So, any questions?
I think we've about settled everything, aye?
Anything you want to know about the building? Some of the people who live in the area will probably know. But, try not to mention Sloane's name too much. Even though you've got the fake IDs, she's got eyes and ears on the street. She knows someone's asking around about her. She will probably assume the worst.
Yeah, to be fair, it is correct in this case to assume the worst.
Go on, get out of here. I'll be schooling Johnson on some, choice tricks on the net while I wait to hear about how things go. She gestures for you to leave, and as she does so, the new rock song that's blurring through the establishment skips a beat and stops as suddenly all the mobster wave goons charge onto the dance floor, finally deciding that they're gonna have it out with the wolf core goons. The wolves all howl and bare their teeth, while one of the mobcore goons pumps a fist in the air and shouts, Hey, come on! We's gonna teach these dogs that the dance floors is public places!
Oh, I swear to God, I'm getting deja vu.
This is what happens when you let a place go to the dogs. Let's say I'm scray, shall we?
You have one last look at Jonathan and Vera, nodding, mutually exchanging silent vows of good luck. And then you precariously make your way along the fringe of the dance floor, and before long you're standing on the street outside. There's shouting and raging new rock music, little more than thumping behind the metal walls and doors. Paradigm? You wish to say something?
Oh, no, sorry, talking to someone else. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep. So, here you are on the street. Stolen taxi parked as ever in a parking lot at the end of the block, and Paradigm's Harley resting against a street light next to it, kickstand digging into the cracked asphalt.
Well, I think that Vera gave us quite a good point with that. There should be plenty of people in the area we could tap for information if we want to go there now. And we have to get the job done now, but we might as well go knocking on doors first. Unless anybody else has a better idea.
Not really. It's be one of those cases, we need to go see what we're getting into before we get into it. But after that, we're gonna need to get into it one way or the other.
Yeah. Luckily, you are now registered as residents of the place, so it should be simple enough as just walking in through the front door. However, it never hurts to do reconnaissance first. So, Paradigm, are you riding the steed today? Or are you taking the taxi like last session?
No, he's back on his bike.
Back on his bike, kicks the kickstand up and revs the engine. And then the tires screech as he screams out onto the streets, leaving Jonathan to scramble into the driver's seat, jiggle the ignition chip as you all scramble into the taxi, and follow Paradigm out into the neon-soaked, trash-strewn ports of Psy. So, Burnchurch Hex is over in the southern portion of Psy, negotiating through the heavy traffic and occasionally stopping for security checkpoints as you make your way over Psy's various pollution-choked canals. It takes you about 40 minutes before the slums and the ports are behind you, and finally you find yourselves turning off the highway, descending down into Burnchurch Hex, and what's referred to by most side dwellers as the in-betweens. The salary folk, the cubicle zombies, the cogs in the machine, live here in endless rows of bland tenement slabs, overcast by an oppressive vista of faceless concrete brutalism, advertised to at every waking moment. There's a disease here, as irritable as a flickering light. Hyper-local gentrification will flood a sector with trend thralls and boutique entrepreneurs. Days later, they're gone, exploiting another hidden gem like a plague of locusts scouring a dying earth. Burnchurch Hex is currently in the thrall of a health food trend. On every street corner you pass, there's a pop-up food stall hastily assembled from corrugated iron and concrete, where trendy vendors wearing brightly coloured knitted vests and man buns are enthusiastically selling mycobiotic meat.
Yeah. That stuff be no good for anyone.
One of the
What
food
the city's come to.
One of the food stands even advertises in a big, red, bold-faced font, "Grown in Ground Zero."
Irradiated fungus.
I mean, fungus isn't bad for you. Fungus is quite fantastic, really, but I wouldn't touch it. Here, at least.
Grown in Ground Zero, it's probably sentient.
This is what
Most likely.
This is what happens when you settle for subpar food.
As you slide your vehicles into the first level of a multi-story car park at the end of a street, and then begin to make your way down the cracked concrete footpath about a block away from where the GPS in your retina display is telling you to go. You happen to pass one of the food stalls, and as you do, you can't help but notice a very distinct, faint blue glow to the strips of meat lying on the silver tray.
My god, there's going to be a nano outbreak here sometime soon. Mark my words, it's going to happen.
"No nano outbreak at all, sir," says the man bun-wearing goon behind the counter. "All of it healthy, safe to eat, grown in Ground Zero. This is what the mutants eat. This is a mutant delicacy, it is."
You're not seeing the connection there.
Is
It
it
looks-
rat? They mostly eats rats.
He looks at you, raises an eyebrow, he says, "Connection? No connection at all. You ever seen a mutant with a nano infection? I sure haven't."
You ever seen a mutant?
"That's beside the point," says the guy. He reaches
That's
up
right.
and nervously fumbles his man bun. He says, "Point is, this stuff's really, really cool at the moment. And you want to be seen eating it, you'll be cool all over the web. So what do you say?"
Kitty's gonna try a thing while they're talking. She's going to try to basically reach out and see if there's a presence there, lingering within these guts.
Go ahead,
I make a
mate.
habit of not being cool on the internet at all.
What? But come on, haven't you seen all those hyper TikToks of people chowing this stuff down? Neo mukbang? New fat core? Come on! Get with the times, bro! Kitty, I'd like you to make for me a presence science check.
Alright. Does this count as an activation?
Say it does, yeah.
Alright. Oh, hang on. Gotta get the syntax right. And that's a fail, so I take 1d2 points of damage.
You take 1d2 points of damage and
I'll roll that now.
feel a surge of electricity run down your spine. As you open your mind for a brief moment, staring at the subtly glowing chunks of meat, and something calls from the void, screaming incomprehensibly into your psyche.
Yeah.
"I tell you though," says the guy, as he lifts up one of the strips of meat and nibbles a piece off the end. They really pack a punch, and as they go down, that aftertaste, nothing like it here inside. Those mutants know no good food.
Jonathan is wandering slightly away from the cart and kind of like putting his hand to his mouth, like trying not to lose it a little bit.
Hey, well, you know what they say, says the guy, shouting out at Jonathan as he sees him walking away. Eat food and be jolly, so, share food among friends. Come on, I'll even give you a freebie. What do you say? Don't walk away. Be cool, man.
Look,
I'll
we're
take
not-
that freebie, Kitty says.
Oh, apparently we are. All right.
Kitty reaches out, takes the piece of meat from the guy's hand, and then he stares at Kitty, his mouth twisted into a broad smile, his teeth flecked with what looks like spots of blood and unsettling, nearly microscopic shreds of blue crystal. Yeah, now we're friends. Now you got it. Right on. What's your hyper TikTok handle? I will look and see your Neo mukbang.
Ah, lad. Can't be messing about on social media without HR's approval, and they've been dead and gone for 15 years. Don't
Wait,
worry
what?
about it, though.
I gave this to someone who don't even got any followers?
You did.
Get out of here, man, he says, brushing his hand in the air. I can't be seen dead with you.
'Tis fair. And as she walks away, Kitty will take a bite and see if this releases them from their torment.
Open your mouth and chomp down on the piece of meat. It tastes like nothing. It's textured almost like nothing. It's like powder, almost disintegrating at the touch of your tongue. And the nanobots contained within surge through your body. I'd like you to go ahead and roll a present science check for me, Kitty. And it will be DR 14.
Right. You poor lads. Shards of the crystal gone awry. Only a 12.
12.
Yeah, let me think on this.
How badly do you want to free him?
She needs to know.
Alright. Go ahead. Glitch.
Glitch incoming. Worse. Okay, that's a fail.
Friends! A voice whispers in your ear as you swallow the clump of meat. Oh. No nano power, but no infestation either.
Are they freed, at least?
They are freed, and they have joined their friends in the
Excellent.
core of your being. So, that distraction aside, you suddenly remember that you're here for a job. You're doing reconnaissance.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find much of anything chatting about followers on Hyper TikTok or Neo Mukbangs. So, what would you like to do?
What makes it near?
Neo? Absolutely nothing at all, save for the fact that the food is not simply eaten on camera, as with the classic mukbang, but rather the food is fused together as a single mass of nano energy and absorbed through the pores of the participant's skin.
Oh, sorry. Just that. And apart from that, nothing else. Cool. A minor change.
Well, in this instance, it's usually like around big corporate headquarters and all that sort of thing. It's the people who you don't notice who know the most. So Jonathan's going to be looking out for somebody who might be homeless or might be down on their luck, somebody that you'd overlook normally.
Yeah.
Why don't we be chatting up a janitor? For the bill.
Oh, a janitor's a great idea.
Yeah. So a janitor and a homeless person, perhaps?
Aye.
Alright. So let's see if... Well, a homeless person will be easy to find, but let's see if Kitty's able to find a janitor. So Kitty, go ahead and make for me a presence investigate check. Yeah, the two genders.
Alright.
Homeless person and janitor.
See if the dice are kinder this time around. Nope. Fail.
Nope.
7.
Nail. Alright, I'll get to you in a moment. So first of all, about half a block away from the dubious meat cellar, there's an alleyway, and somebody has stacked up a pile of trash cans. 3 trash cans, all heaped one among the other, outside the front of the alleyway, like some sort of totem pole. They've even spray painted snarling stick figures on the front of each of the trash cans, and there's a piece of cardboard that's clumsily wedged, leaning out of the lid of the very top trash can, that someone's written, "Damo's place. Stay out!" And stepping into this alleyway, beyond the trash can totem, you find the first thing that you registered, Jonathan, is the unmistakable smell of cat urine, that mixture of metallic rust and chemicals. At least 8 cats silently stare at you, their tails raised, contorted into question mark shapes, as they silently pick through the scraps of food and plastic wrappers that have been offered to them by their guardian, a man wearing tattered, grey, soiled rags, currently reclining against a brick wall on a flat, incredibly dirty mattress. His grime-covered leathery face hides any emotion other than what's expressed in his eyes. And as he stares at you, Jonathan, sizing you up and down, his eyes register obvious contempt. "Eh, f*** off, Corpo!" he shouts, giving you the finger.
Oh, sorry to intrude. Jonathan reaches over to the tin cans and kind of gives them a little knock, 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 like he's knocking on a door, trying to act polite and maybe a little disarming.
What do you
is this
want?
a bad time?
"I'm feeding me fucking cats, if you can't see," he says. "And I ain't buying anything. Ain't got enough money to buy anything. So if you're here to sell me something, or to beg that I renew my subscription for Trauma Team or some shit like that, you can fuck right off."
Oh, no, it's nothing like that. I'm not here to sell you anything. Actually, how are your cats doing? They look a little bit hungry, actually.
Is Kitty there by any chance?
So you can all be there if you want. Me cats! Yeah, well, at this, he lowers his voice, lowers his head, stares at a sort of disheveled and obviously malnourished kitten that's sniffing at a scrap of mouldy bread tossed in the gutter. "Well, they could be doing better, but I barely got enough to feed myself, and I give them what I can."
Well, 'tis a shame to be seeing some of me kin so bad off. Here, and Kitty will take out 2 doggy bag meals. This is the good stuff.
"Oh, thanks, love," says the man as he takes the doggy bags, unwraps them, and Oh, there's enough for them and enough for me too. Such kindness, he says, as he begins to parcel out the burgers and cupcakes, breaking them into bits, throwing them to the cats, that cluster upon every scrappy drops, meowing.
Kitty will step back and pat Jonathan on the leg.
Jonathan kneels down to one of the nearest cats and, like, gently kneads a finger, like, behind its ear, just, giving a little bit of kindness, and looks directly at the man, meeting his eyes.
Cat begins to purr, bunting the side of your hand, and the homeless man smiles in spite of himself. You're not bad, Corpo. Not bad. See, everyone who comes past, they don't even talk to me, and when they do, it's just because they want to sell me shit or tell me to fuck off. I clocked you wrong, I did. Thank you for your kindness. There must be some way I can repay you.
Look, whilst we're not here to sell you something, we are, in a sense, here to purchase something from you. Nothing sinister, of course. Well, you might have pegged us entirely wrong. We're not corpos, but we are here to leverage a corporation. A very specific corporation, very new here. Do you know the Allianson building?
Allianson? Oh, yeah, sure, they own all the tenement blocks around here. But I got a feeling I know which one you're talking about. Rattling Block Subsection A. You're after...
Does that scan as the one?
That's the one. He narrows his eyes. You're after Sloane, ain't you?
Yes, the very same, actually. I don't feel bad telling you about this, but we've got a bit of a score to settle with her, actually. So anything you could provide us, or any information at all to get us any closer to her would be much appreciated.
Fuck that bitch, he says, scoffing loudly.
My sentiments exactly.
Got enough money up there in her penthouse that she could feed everyone on this block for the rest of their lives. The only thing she'll push down onto us unfortunates down below is her drugs. Been flooding the streets with Virid of late.
So the operation's in full swing, I see.
Sure, Virt's good to escape. You get to be somewhere else, see something else for a bit, but it don't fill your belly. People be wasting away and not even knowing they're wasting away. Dropping dead like flies, one by one. All while on their Vert trips in some fairyland. No. I got no problems at all with you being out for Sloane's blood.
Yeah, I thought you might feel that way. My god, I don't think that having all this Vert around is a good idea to start with, but you've really shown me that this is, well, quite fucked up, really.
Indeed it is. Look, if you're after her, I suppose it ain't a leap of logic to suggest that you're trying to put the Vert lab out of business, right?
I mean, that's part of why we're here, at least.
Well, look, I can, No. Look, if any of the Vipers, or if Sloane herself found out, they wouldn't just kill me. They'd kill me cats, too.
Well, lad, then we've got a mutual benefit in nobody finding out about it, don't we? A pact of secrecy.
Yeah, the last thing we need is the cops breathing down our necks if they find out that we've been doing this.
How do I know I can trust you? He says. You gave me cats food, and I appreciate that, but you could just be trying to bribe me into telling you what you need to know. How do I know you're not gonna throw me under the bus? And if Sloane manages to get you, that you're not gonna say, it was Damo down there in the alley with his cats what told me how to get you.
Look, to be frank, I'm a physician. It's not really in my nature to make the world worse. I'm doing my very best to make it better, actually.
Kitty kills her hologram. Well, for one thing, I wouldn't betray me own kin like that.
Yo, they! He looks between his cats and you and he says, I remember you! When I was a kid! Doggy bag on the TV, Captain Kitty! Oh, I used to watch you go against those Labrador Legion every morning on the feeds and...
'Twas a long war. Lost many good friends along the way, but I never betrayed me crew, nor me own kind. That's dog's business.
Only when they had those moon parasites from Zeta 4. But that wasn't your fault.
Those things. Nah, they were screwing with everyone's heads. Worse than the doppel copies, I tell you.
Go ahead for me, Jonathan. Make me a presence persuade check. The DR will be 10 because Kitty has broken the ice quite a bit.
Presence, did you say?
Presence, yep.
17.
17. He shrugs. Yeah, alright. Like I said, I clocked you the wrong way. I suppose I can trust you, and look, I really got nothing to lose. And I've got everything to gain if Sloane goes down. The guys in the Vert lab, they recruit people like us off the street. Take them up there and use us as guinea pigs, essentially. They got a good rate, enough chips and creds to keep you fed for a month. And so, yeah, I'm desperate enough and I got me cats to think about, so I took the bait. Now, approximately half of the people who go there don't come back out. Something going on in that lab, something that, well, leads to not everyone surviving the experience, but assuming you do, you're living on Easy Street for a bit. I happened to get lucky, and I can tell you that the Vert lab is on the 17th floor. Mostly a bunch of scientists there. Not sure if they're with the Vipers or with someone else. And they've only got 2 guards. They ain't expecting much resistance from blokes like me. But those guards are well paid, and they're wearing UCS patches on their uniforms. United Citadel Security. The leading rent-a-cop firm in the city.
Well, suffice to say, I'm glad you made it out alive. We've actually had a run-in with some of the, more unfortunates who haven't made their way back out. I would very much like to put an end to this. Personally.
They're doing stuff with kids, mate. That needs to stop.
He frowns and he says, oh, well, I suppose in that case I will tell you that there's a password. Now, I was only there last month, and I overheard the password they had at the time. Don't know if they're still using it, but if you fancy giving it a try, when you knock on the door to the lab and they ask for the word, you say Longhorn.
I mean, that's more than we had to go on before, even if it's not right.
You've been a great help, my friend. Might be as I'll come back again with some food when I get the chance. And don't worry if anyone asks who told us it'll be some feller with a man bun. Though it won't come to
There's
that.
so many of them around here.
Touche.
I know, right?
Allianson will be looking to the end of eternity. Alright, now you be careful. Sloane's no one to fuck with. I ain't seen her myself, but the stories they tell of her on the streets, She's chromed to the maximum. And they say she can take down an entire squad of gang goons all on her own. I hope you succeed. But I'll be honest with you. I ain't expecting you to get much further than the lab itself before you get gunned down or chopped up or blown up. But you've been kind to me and I repaid it the best way I could. So you've got my thoughts and prayers, so to speak, going along with you.
Oh, don't you worry about us. Once we see Sloane, we'll save a bullet for her for you. And tell her that Damo sent us.
Oh, only one from me, of course. Don't worry, you'll have plenty left over, because what I hear, she's definitely gonna take more than one to put down. But, well, look, hopefully I'll see you again. Thank you again for your kindness. My cats will be very happy and they will always remember what you did for us.
Kitty flips her disguise back on. And we'll remember... Actually, she says as the rest leave, she hesitates, then hands out a card. If you be tired of living here and want someplace else to live with more friends around, give me a call.
Friends? What, you a landlord? He looks at the card, shrugs, slides it into the folds of his tattered clothing. Can't hurt to give it a try. Tell you what, if I see you again, I'll look you up.
Deal, mate. She gives him a grin, then follows the others out. Honestly, with that, I don't think we need to be looking up a janitor. That was helpful enough.
Well, I was going to say that as you step out of the alleyway and pass the trash can totem again, across the road, you do see someone wearing the telltale pale blue overalls of a janitor shuffling down the street, coming from the direction of Rattling subsection A. But they're not alone. They're in a group. There's 3 others wearing high-vis vests that clearly mark them as maintenance men, and a single security guard. All of them chatting loudly, laughing at the security guard's joke as they pass you by.
Well, no, I'm getting deja vu. I think I saw this in a movie or something once. There's 4 of us, 4 of them. Easy camouflage? That seems very fortuitous, but
we
do you think that's worth a shot?
We do be having those fake IDs, but this might get us through the door of the lab.
That's what I was thinking.
Tis risky. Tis an open street. If we get too noisy, things are gonna go bad. But we could give it a shot.
Follow them for a bit, see if they duck somewhere out of the way.
What time is it?
So it's approximately, we'll say it's about 9:30 p.m.
Oh, yeah, so we're not in, a super rush. We got time.
No.
Aye.
There's still plenty of people about, but the streets aren't as busy as they would be, and there's a lot of people, there's enough people around that you won't have to try too hard to not be detected if you want to follow them. So it's up to you.
Yeah, we could probably follow them for a bit.
Why not?
All right. Jonathan Ghost, I trust your instincts. Let's get to stalking our prey.
I'm gonna do a group check here. I'd like everyone to go ahead and roll for me a dexterity stealth check. And it will be...
Agility stealth check, yeah.
Agility stealth check, yeah. And it will be DR12 to pass, because just standard, because there's a normal amount of people in the street, enough crowds to sort of blend into.
26.
26.
10.
10. Alright. That's one failure from the group.
Oh, dice roller. I love
Alright.
this game. Why do you hate this?
Paradigm, it's all on you.
Okay, I will glitch then, because that was a 7.
Because Jonathan's was so high, it counts as 2 passes, so we need a third
Wow, okay,
pass.
thank you.
So, yep, it's all on Paradigm. If you want to pass without rolling, you can activate your invisibility. I'll allow that.
Oh, what did Ghost get?
7.
7.
Oh, ouch.
I got a nat 3.
Yeah, that's...
Ooh.
Yeah, Paradigm, if you want to take that glitch back, I'll allow you to activate your invisibility to instantly pass. But you will have to do the normal nano activation roll. So
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Yeah, why not? I was thinking on with that anyway.
Yeah, go ahead. And you'll remain invisible for the encounter as well, so...
Oh, okay. Jesus, I'm not having any luck tonight.
Oh no, did you fail your nano
Uh-oh.
roll?
Well, it was a 3 on the die, which brings it to a 9. So, yeah, no.
Yeah, that is going to be 2 damage to you. As you hold out your hand and send the cloud of nanobots. They swirl around you and they do manage to cloak you. Your invisibility goes off, but the nanobots swirl around you so fast, compressed together in such a thick concrete mass that they chip into your skin, peeling it away at various points as they dig into your body, touching your very bones before they finally cloak. And so that's a group pass. So you blend into the crowd and you follow the group of apartment staff for a while. Follow them to the end of the block, and they stop briefly for a moment at the dubious meat seller. Let him talk them through his sales pitch, and then all 5 of them shake their heads in disgust and continue on. You notice that they're heading towards the multi-story car park where you stashed your vehicles, and this seems to be perfect. They step underneath the swiveling plastic camera that watches the front of the car park for signs of trouble and are swallowed up by the darkness beyond. You exchange glances and then break out into a run, emerging from the crowd and following them into the car park. And as you see them making their way to a single white van parked in the corner just to your right, you flex your weapons and move in to subdue them. I'd like everyone to go ahead and make for me a strength melee check to subdue your quarry. They do not notice you, so it's only a DR10.
That's 16.
That is a 20 for me, but a natural
20,
19.
yep. Lovely.
So I'm going to pay a glitch for it not to be a critical fumble.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh, I'm so
And then
sorry.
I'm going to pay another glitch
To re-roll.
to re-roll.
And for Paradigm, it's only DR6, because he's invisible.
So yeah, that's 2 glitches gone, but that's a 16 total, so...
16 total, yep.
Oh,
And
Lord.
Paradigm, can you beat 6?
Yeah, it was an 18 this time.
Yeah. So you rush forwards, and they're not even aware that you're there until they feel the disturbance in the air behind them. They start to whirl around. Thump! 4 of them are sprawling on the ground within seconds as the 5th guy, the security guard, reaches for the gun in his holster, just as Paradigm, still invisible, rushes forwards and delivers a swift uppercut to the man's jaw. He gasps as he goes down, knocked out, his gun clattering to the floor.
So I'm just going to take a moment to thank you for using some restraint this time. I've actually started having dreams about that chainsaw.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it would have ruined the disguise if he used his chainsaw.
These be innocents, too. They're just doing their job.
The chainsaw's getting old anyway. You really gotta mix it up.
So, they lie sprawling at your feet. A janitor, 3 maintenance men, and a security guard. Make your choices, people.
Jonathan's going to slip into the security guard's uniform and tie him up in his underclothes, solid snake style. After all, he's the one with the assault rifle.
Yep. So will the other 3 of you take the maintenance men, or does one of you want to be a janitor especially? Is that someone's childhood dream?
Well, the problem is, I'm gonna have to be traveling in somebody's backpack.
Yeah.
So no uniform for me.
Can't tinker with your hologuise and change that.
What? And not wear me company logos, me uniform? Nay.
Yeah. Can't cover that up. At the very least, you'd have to wear the tricorn, and that would be conspicuous.
Aye.
Well, I'm just going as a maintenance guy then.
Yep. And Ghost, do you have a preference, janitor or maintenance man?
Maintenance man.
Maintenance man. So
I
Ghost,
fancy the maintenance man.
Ghost and Paradigm slip into the high-vis vests and tough, leather-enforced denim overalls, while Jonathan slides into the security guard's uniform. The uniforms kind of fit you. They're a bit baggy in some places, too tight in others. Primarily on Ghost, who is at least 2 sizes smaller than the maintenance guy whose uniform she's currently appropriating. But you look the part at first glance. Paradigm lifts the tool backpack off the now nude maintenance man's body at his feet, slings it over his shoulder, and then Kitty scrambles up Paradigm's back and buries herself in the backpack. Yeah, well, no, he's wearing underwear at least.
Skyrim maintenance man.
Or maybe he
Actually, if the
doesn't-
maintenance
maybe-
man has a toolkit, she'll clear out some of the tools and hide in there.
Yeah. You throw a couple of wrenches and a screwdriver kit, scatter them on the floor, and bury yourself in the tool bag, pulling the flap down to conceal your face.
Yep.
And then you turn and make your way out of the parking garage, heading down the street with no one around you, any the wiser that the people they saw enter a few minutes ago are not the same ones they saw leave. And about 10 minutes later, you're at the end of the block, approaching Rattling Subsection A. And I'll put a picture of it up in Owlbear Rodeo just so you can see the type of establishment you're dealing with. Crushing poverty. Tweakers, ex-cons, runaways, down on their luck families, single mothers, gangoons, nano-infected, and jaded expats, all stacked on top of one another in Rattling Block Subsection A. It's one of many 30-story affordable living complexes situated in this part of Psy. And, like most of them, it's independently owned and operated by a vicious gang-backed landlord. In this case, Jinghai Sloane and her Virid Viper underlings. You make your way across the empty and depressing plaza that sits out front the building in the shadow of the concrete skyscraper itself, walking past picnic tables and outdoor barbecues that are groaning under countless layers of dust, grime, and rust. And now you stand at the foot of the tenement block itself. There's a set of reinforced glass doors in front of you. Faded, peeling lettering on the glass reads, "Residents only. Strictly residents only. Trespassers will be dealt with." And Ghost, you notice an array of biometric sensors embedded in the door frame beyond, ready to scan anyone who steps through into the lobby.
Well, we do be having fake IDs, so theoretically, we could probably just walk through.
Question is, do you trust the fake IDs?
And the biometric scanners as well, which isn't just...
Yeah.
They're not going to be looking at your ID card.
Alright, let me get to work.
Anything in particular you'd like to do to these scanners, Ghost?
Ideally, for the time, for as long as I can, I would like them to just permit anyone.
Permit anyone. Alright. I'd say that'd be a DR14, because you're basically just shutting down their friend-foe detection and just letting them let anyone through. Go ahead as you unsling your cyber deck and pull out the coiled cord, slot it into your neck. Make me a knowledge technology DR14 roll.
Okay, I used a glitch.
Yep.
And I have 15.
15, lovely. Beep beep! You hear a beep from the biometric sensors that indicates that you've deleted all of the selection criteria in their algorithm. They should be letting anyone in and not putting up any alerts. You unplug the cyber deck and sling it back over your shoulder. And then you all give each other one last glance before, in unison, you step forwards into the shadow of the doorway. Whoosh! The glass doors slide open and the sensors beep, 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 as you step over the threshold. On a screen just above the reception counter in the lobby beyond, a message, "Welcome, residents," flashes. You have 9,999 messages waiting in your letterbox.
Somebody hasn't checked their mail in a while.
The lobby itself is quite bare. The concrete walls are coated in graffiti. Some of it nice, some of it actually artistic. The rest of it just tags for thugs with names like 2 Gun or 8 Pack. And there are 3 things of note within the lobby itself. There is the reception counter, which is unmanned, but does appear to have a terminal embedded into the desk itself, currently turned on and waiting for a staff member to input a password. Beyond it, there's a stairwell ascending up into darkness. And to the left of that, a rusted metal elevator door.
Ghost, Do you think it's possible that from the terminal we could lock all the doors in the building?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Why?
Well, people live here, right? There's going to be people kind of wandering to and fro and back and forth. If we can keep everybody in their apartments, then we'll have much less to worry about when it comes to crossfire or being noticed or, hell, even having our faces recognized.
Do you reckon? I would have thought having the chaos would help more.
We're going to have chaos now, are we?
I mean, it's
Well,
easy
I mean,
to
it's
slip
like-
through. Guns are, firearms are going off and battles are happening on every floor, but...
What I mean is
That's
it's a
how
lot
it-
easier to slip into a crowd when there is one.
Entirely true.
Or a crowded elevator. So I don't know, I'm not
Elevator
sure
in an
about that.
emergency.
Actually, emergency is a good idea. Could you
Could pull the fire
remote
alarm.
remote access back door something trigger the fire alarm from a distance?
Only if it's a Unix system. That's a joke.
So,
I'll
And,
trust that is a joke.
Yeah, Ghost is going to
yeah.
going to take a look at anything that might be useful.
So, Ghost,
So-
what's your knowledge? +3, I believe?
Yep. Plus true technology.
Yeah, plus like 2, which brings it to 5, which is more than enough for you to very easily bypass the terrible security on this system. You just mash your hands on the keyboard, inserting a password 11111111, and then smash enter, executing a little known loophole in this particular operating system. And within a few seconds, you're staring at the admin controls for the building superintendent. There are a number of options here to access the camera feeds installed in each of the apartments, to register someone as a resident or take them out of the database, which would turn the security system against them, or to activate emergency protocols.
So, there's something I'm gonna bring up. And that is, after we get the business done wrecking the Vert Lab, we're gonna need to beat feet upstairs very freaking fast. So what I'm going to suggest is that we secure a route to get us safely there and quickly there before we go and wreck the lab. Like maybe hotwire an elevator and make sure we can get, like, to the 30th floor somehow.
Well, our own personal express route.
Aye, or maybe
Yeah.
do a lockdown on the 30th floor so they can't leave until we can get up there. One of the two. That's me suggestion.
No, this building wouldn't have an express elevator, would it?
No, but I
There
think
is
we can
the-
probably turn
Nice.
it into an express elevator.
There is the elevator next to you, but that's the only one you could see. Not sure if it's express, though.
Yeah.
We could probably make it express if we really wanted to. Lock down all the floors, ensure nobody presses any buttons.
Yeah, it gives you free reign to just get to the Vert Lab and get out.
So the thing about stopping on stations vehicles is they're quite slow.
Right now we can go to the Vert Lab floor, no problem. But I mean, set up some snippet of code in advance so that when we trigger it, we lock down all travel save for us, then go up to the 30th floor and do our business. That's me suggestion. What do you think?
When we're done, rip the fire escape and everybody floods out, confused as to why they couldn't get out of their rooms. Sounds like a good cover.
Aye. That'll be our exit.
Yeah, alright, so you
You
want
guys are
to...
getting kind of alright at this. Alright.
Yeah, they're getting good at OPSEC.
Actually, at that, Jonathan kind of like puts his 2 fingers to his neck and feels his pulse. It's like, does it feel a bit hot in here? Actually, I think I'm having fun with this.
Oh
I
no.
haven't been able to stick it to the corpse. I don't think I've stuck it to anything in my whole life.
You be ruled by a tyranny, you gentle giant. This is what rebellion feels like, and rebellion is good.
So,
Okay,
Throwing
base.
off the shackles here, one step at a time.
so is Ghost going to initiate an emergency lockdown?
Sure is.
Yeah. The Ghost navigates to the emergency option and, smiling mischievously, activates it. Instantly, the screen glows bright red, flashing the word emergency, and the entire building goes on lockdown, literally. Every door and window leading out of the tower becomes barred by electrified metal sheets that drop down instantly, ensuring that nobody can enter the building or leave. Please remain within your premises, says a robotic voice echoing throughout the building. Emergency protocol has been activated. Do not panic. Do not panic. Everything is perfectly calm. Security brought to you by United Citadel Security.
Actually,
Alright.
can you patch into the sound system here?
I mean, looking at this security, I'm almost certainly.
Yeah.
Do you think you could give me a feed?
Why?
Oh, I just want to tell everybody there's a bit of a technical hitch, and not to worry. The system will come back online properly in just a few minutes. Technical garble, snuffle, something like that.
All right, but you gotta not talk like that.
But you can do it if you
Most
want.
certainly.
Yeah, all right.
Look, I don't exactly have an air of authority.
Yeah, Ghost is going to go about
Yeah.
that, modifying their voice to sound very normal and official.
Yeah, so if it's going to be actually modifying Jonathan's voice, I'd like Ghost to make me a presence technology check.
Okay,
I think it was to modify their own voice, but yeah.
doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. 18.
So, you put some of your protocols and filters to work to change your voice and Jonathan's to sound a bit more official, and then you patch Jonathan into the building-wide sound system.
Alright, please remain calm, everybody. We're having some technical issues. Security system has come online for no real reason. We're looking into it now. Everything will hopefully be fixed within the next 15 minutes. Sorry for the interruption.
As you patch Jonathan out of the security system, you briefly tune into the feed from the penthouse on floor 30. Your ears are blasted with new rock music, and then you hear someone saying, "Ah, you hear that? See, technical issues. Put your gun down, come back in and party, come on!" And then you log out of the system.
Oh, thank God we did that.
Just like the Mask of the Bread death. They'll be partying while the sandwich fiends creep up on them.
Sandwich.
All right.
things.
Aye, terrible
I
things. You
know.
never want to see one.
So, as you approach the stairwell and the elevator, it's worth pointing out that as you step out from the shadow of the lobby, you step into what the residents of this building refer to as the Hole. It's something that's right at the center of the tower complex. It's a plaza that runs from the very top to the very bottom and offers a dismal view of the television sky up in the air above that's constantly beaming a feed of ads down to Earth. Filthy condensation drips onto you from the floors above, running down the plaza. The higher you are in the building, the less condensation. But this isn't just to allow the residents to gaze up at the ad feeds. It's something of a security system that you get the feeling that Jinghai Sloan has had built into the building. Because of this contraption, this hole that neatly bisects the building into two halves, neither the elevator nor the stairwell runs up the entire height of the building. Rather, there are two separate stairwells, one on each side of the hole, and they have a sort of interchange system between them. You go up one stairwell, reach the top of that, switch to the other one, head up that one a few more floors, get off, switch back to the other one, and so on, until you finally reach the top, meaning you can't do it all in one go. So how would you like to do this?
We came too far to be thwarted by stairs.
Yeah.
So the elevator doesn't go all the way up. We have to switch
Yeah.
between them, basically.
Yeah,
Are
and
there
you'll probably have
guards
to
or
do it
cameras or
multiple
anything?
times. There
Alright.
aren't any well, there are cameras, but there's a camera above the elevator door. There is not one for the stairwell, but you are wearing uniforms and you are registered as residents, so it's unlikely the camera would automatically trigger an alert.
So we might as well just brazen it out and walk like we belong here, eh?
Yeah.
Well, you should. I'm just gonna curl up in this bag and catnap.
Well, we do belong here. I'm a security guard and you're on maintenance.
You approach the elevator and the rusted metal doors groan as they slide open, admitting you into the cramped cubicle. There's a button. There's an array of buttons just inside the door. This elevator goes as high as floor number 8. You also groan inwardly as you notice a small, roughly centimetre wide slot underneath the buttons and a little electronic screen that reads 20 creds per floor.
20 creds?
Oh, it's highway robbery.
Literally, this is the highway. Oh, of the building.
And it's per floor, too. Oh, that's
Yep.
glorious.
So if you want to go up to the 8th floor, which is as high as this will take you, it's going to cost 160 creds.
So I know we've been asking a lot of you lately, Ghost, but do you think you could maybe do something about that?
Let's save Ghost talents. I'll just pay the money.
Alright, sure.
Kitty leans out of the backpack and inserts her cred chip into the slot. Ding! 8 credits added to account. Blinks up on the screen, and then she slides the cred stick out and presses the number 8. It lights up as the doors slam shut and the elevator lurches. And a mechanical rumble emanates from the walls around you as it begins to
That's
carry you up.
160 used, yeah, okay.
Yep, 160. And since you were the one to pay for it, Kitty, go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
For my fake ID.
Well, no, it's not for your fake ID. It's to determine what encounter you get on the floor that you're going to pop out on.
Oh, 6.
6. Lovely. The doors slide open, and as you step out into the hallway beyond, you find it blocked with a crisscrossing jumble of yellow crime scene tape. There's a chalk outline of a human sprawled on the concrete floor, and large sheets of plastic pinned up on the walls or draped over various sections of the hallway. Beyond the crime scene, however, the hallway continues on as normal, save for the electrified barriers that are currently blocking each of the apartment doors, and you can just make out another elevator and another stairwell at the very end of the floor.
Shall we be taking the stairs this time around?
I mean, my cardio is fantastic. Do the rest of you going to make it?
That said, you have to cross through this marked crime scene to get to it. Are you okay with that?
What's your agility, Jonathan?
His agility +4, and I get a
Hey,
-2 on
very,
all.
very much the same.
-2 on all agility tests.
Look, you might not expect it, but I'm in pretty good shape myself.
It is hard to tell what your shape is, actually.
Definitely is.
Working well.
Functioning as intended.
Right.
Suppose that all comes down to you, Paradigm. Do you and your stomach mouth think you can loop-de-loop over the trapeze and make your way through this crime scene okay?
I mean, do we care about disturbing it? Or do you want to try and sneak through it?
Yeah, I will ask for agility. I will ask for agility, possibly acrobatics rolls if you want to try to move through without disturbing the crime scene. Otherwise, no roll needed if you just want to, grab the tape, rip it open, step through.
My thing is that tape will probably flag whoever does it as disturbing the crime scene, so it could be consequences when we're leaving.
My thoughts exactly. It's not like the
Alright.
security cops to not try and
That
protect what
said,
they're
it's
doing.
not. That said, it's not undoable, and we can always. It just means we might have to dodge some cops on the way out if we don't. If you guys booch it here.
Well, we can at least try. If somebody falls flat on their face, then so be it. But
Everyone make a dexterity acrobatics check.
I'm in a bag.
Yeah, you're in the bags. You don't have to
you
make a
mean-
roll.
agility, athletic, acrobatics.
Yeah. I keep saying dexterity because for some reason I got D&D on my head. But yeah, agility, acrobatics. And Paradigm, as you have Kitty in your backpack, the DR will be increased by +2, making it 14.
16.
16,
That's an 11 from me.
Just like
11.
You're about to get some shit for that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, don't make me glitch it. I will.
sure, don't have to see that.
Remember, we're on fake IDs, so if these get flagged, we can just burn them later.
So with Kitty in my backpack, I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, nice. So,
I'm like rolling like with the ship to help you balance.
yeah. So, Paradigm just carefully makes his way over the crime scene tape, and he's sort of wobbling left and right as he pushes between the sheets of plastic, trying not to disturb them, with Kitty popping out of the backpack and leaning in the opposite direction as a counterweight. Like a ship's ballast, guiding him through the crime scene to the hallway beyond. Jonathan and Ghost, would you like... we'll get to Jonathan. Ghost, would you like to describe how you clear the crime scene with your excellent acrobatics?
I've been thinking about what Ghost being acrobatic looks like. And I can't help but think it's kind of monkey-like.
Yeah, I think I got that idea too.
Lots of scrambling,
Yeah,
lots of weird behavior.
So Ghost basically just looks over at Jonathan, and then she winks as if saying, watch and learn. And then she takes a running jump towards the nearest wall, jumps onto the wall and pushes off it, grabbing hold of a pipe that runs along the roof and sort of monkey barring across the tape into the middle of the crime scene. And then she stops, looks over her shoulder at Jonathan once again, and with a smug smile on her face, pulls her entire body back and swings, leaping off the pipe, landing gracefully on her feet in front of Kitty and Paradigm. Jonathan's the last to try to get across. He gets over the tape quite easily and starts to push his way through the sheets of plastic. He gets about halfway before he misjudges the distance between one sheet of plastic and the other one that's partially obscured behind it. He weaves to the right and then suddenly feels his face pressing into the sheet of plastic. You hear a click, Jonathan, and then an unseen device sprays you with green ink, coating every inch of your body in it.
Wait, is it just ink, or is it, like, toxic in some way?
It doesn't seem to be toxic. You hold your breath just to be safe, but it smells like ink, and when you emerge from the sheets of plastic and approach the others, the only thing that appears to be wrong with you is that you're now glowing a fluorescent green covered in sticky paint.
You got
Die
marked.
back. You're a marked man, Jonathan.
Yeah, I get the sinking feeling that I am. He just kind of like puts his hand on his face and like, scrunches his the bridge of his nose frustratedly, and tries very hard to just walk past them all without any further incident.
You reach the stairwell and, eyeing the elevator with contempt, you walk past it, stepping onto the first concrete stair and making your way up. I would like Jonathan, as you're the one who crossed last, to roll a d8 for me to see how many floors up this stairwell will take you.
Ooh, okay, sure. Two.
Two.
Oh.
So, you climb up 2 landings and emerge in front of a metal door with a big white number 10 splashed onto the concrete next to it. And you'd like to go further up, but you can't, because it looks like somebody has forcefully dismantled the next set of stairs. You can look up the shaft and see the landings of all the floors above you, going all the way up to floor 16. But without the stairs, it's almost impossible to get to them.
Oh! This might be doable, actually. I got something installed to help with this. And Kitty will, wriggle out of the bag and, fire her hand upward at the nearest landing.
Kitty's palm opens and a long piece of paracord extends out like a tentacle.
Grapple on the end.
The grappling hook digging into the landing of floor 11. It looks steady enough that you could climb it.
Oh, no. I'm going to pretty much retract it and whizz up.
Yeah,
Then
fly
take
up.
my paracord. I'll do it a few more times and take my paracord out and tie it off so they can climb
Yeah.
proper.
So, do you have enough paracord for 6 landings?
I have the standard amount, which is 50 feet.
30
so-
meters.
30 meters, so if
yeah.
somebody else wants to toss me another one.
Yeah, Jonathan's got another 30.
Yeah, so 60 meters altogether. That'll be enough. So you watch as Kitty, like some sort of 20th century cartoon superhero, swings off a cord, deftly guiding from landing to landing to landing until she finally reaches floor 16 at the very top of the shaft. Attaches a piece of paracord to the metal bar that would have served as the safety rail for the stairs before they were removed, and then drops it down the shaft. It's steady enough that you're all able to climb up without trouble, and about 15 to 20 minutes later, you're all taking a deep breath as you scramble up onto the landing, and Kitty pulls the loop of paracord out from under the safety rail and begins to bundle it back up.
Alright, cat's going back in the bag, she says to Paradigm.
scrambles up Paradigm's back and slides back into the backpack, and then you step through the doorway that leads to floor 16. Jonathan, I'd like you to roll a d6 for me to determine the encounter on this floor.
That's a 6. So does that mean we're going to encounter a green dye-eating monster?
6. As soon as you step out of the floor, step out of the stairwell and onto the floor, into the lobby of the 16th floor, you catch a glimpse of the bare, white, cracked concrete walls, the long hallway and the electrified shutters blocking the doors ahead of you, before suddenly all 4 of you are bombarded by a targeted ad bomb that explodes in your retinal display. And this one, connected to the apartment building's private network, is targeted exactly to your needs. The objects of your obsession, the things that your innermost heart has desired for years, are suddenly there on your retina displays, only a single click and a small fee away. I'd like you to go ahead, all of you, and make me a presence technology check.
Oh, this will be fun.
Sorry.
13.
13.
I know what I need, and it ain't this.
11, unfortunately.
11. Ghost.
I'm so sorry, what was the roll?
Presence plus technology, if you've got it.
Why would
that
Ghost have that?
is 9.
9. Oh, Ghost. Okay. And Paradigm.
14.
14. So if Ghost passed, I was going to allow Ghost to do a check to dispel the entire ad bomb, but Ghost, you can't give in. You try. The willpower is there, and you're about to. You've got the script loaded up on your cyber deck. You've got it ready in RAM, waiting to go to dispel this ad bomb and free everyone from this sensory assault. But suddenly it's there on your screen. Brain boxes, treatises on immortality, old animes about mind uploading and robots, Ghost in the Shell action figures. It's all there.
Shit, that'll get me.
Jonathan, what's your object of desire?
That's a very interesting question. I haven't actually thought about that.
So much porn. All the porn.
Actually, I think his object of desire right now would be like villas and expensive housing and like nice clothes and silk sheets and all the things that he misses from his old life.
Well, you most definitely can't afford a house, but that doesn't stop Jonathan from immediately reaching out and swiping against the glyphs for 8 different timeshares up in the hills. That would
get him, yeah.
I'd like Jonathan and Ghost to roll. I'd like Jonathan and Ghost to roll 3d6 for me, please.
I love that we're in the middle of this job and just get targeted and like, oh, we've got to go kill someone and ooh, oh my god,
Remember,
a timeshare? Fuck yeah, I gotta buy a timeshare.
We grew up in this society. We've been conditioned. This bargain won't be back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a
Sorry, that was
one-time
3.
deal.
That was 3d6, right?
Yep, 3d6.
This
I got
is
a
for
6,
wallet
a 6, and a
damage,
1.
6, 6, and 1, so
It's
13.
a total of 9.
9. So, Jonathan, all of these timeshares end up costing you 90 creds. They're very small timeshares. You're only allowed to spend an hour in each of these estates before you have to leave. Meanwhile, Ghost, you spend 130 creds on every ghost in the shell action figure you can find. And when the ad bomb subsides, you're left with a feeling of exhausted, yet exhausted and dazed euphoria. The things you purchased will arrive in 5 days.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Once the
Wait, I'm not
last...
sure. You didn't give an address.
Send it to one of the Airbnbs. Yeah.
Once the last of the ads trickle away and your retinal displays show nothing more than the bleached, cracked white concrete walls, you gather yourselves and continue on. Elevator or stairs?
We've got what? One more floor?
Yeah, you got to go up to floor
On the floor to
17.
17.
Yeah, to get
Yeah.
the vert. Yep, so
And,
you're just
and
gonna...
I'd be having a feeling that the elevator there will go straight to the penthouse, hopefully.
if you're lucky.
So let's just go up the stairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
You head up into the stairwell. A single flight of stairs to floor 17. There are more heading up, heading all the way up to floor 24. But all you need is floor 17. You step across the threshold, and Paradigm. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me. Yeah, so from last game, Alt, that was 1500, almost exactly.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's a 4.
4. So, this floor is not at all like the others. There's no hallway leading off to the apartment buildings. Instead, you step out into the lobby and find yourself face to face with a thick, reinforced metal door. There's a little red button to the side of it, and an electronic speaker for you to speak through. And right next to that, there's something else of interest to you. There's a hole in the concrete wall. Looks like at some point someone in a fit of rage planted a fist in the wall, and they've left a hole about the size of a tennis ball in the plaster. Somebody, perhaps one of the residents of the building, or maybe one of the gang goons working in the Vert lab, has graffitied the outside of the hole to make it resemble a gaping mouth. And perhaps even more interesting, sitting on a block of wood just beyond the hole, inside the gaping mouth, is a pile of multicoloured wrapped candy.
Oh my god.
Everything's for free is graffitied in messy handwriting just to the right of the gaping mouth.
Drug lag be giving away free candy.
That ain't suspicious.
That tracks. Alright. Jonathan, if your greenness comes up, tell him the security system's misfiring.
I mean, they bought it before.
Aye.
Yeah. So Jonathan, you walk up and cautiously place your palm on the red button. The speaker comes to life with static. Password?
Longhorn.
Longhorn.
Longhorn? That's last month's password. You been helping yourself to the free candy too much? What's the
No,
password?
this is my first shift.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Make for me a presence persuade check.
Let's persuade.
It's an older code, but it checks out. Come on.
As you wait in desperate silence to see if they'll accept your hastily thought of excuse, you can't help but notice the circular grating embedded in the roof just above the door. Approximately the right size and shape for a turret to drop down and blow you away at a moment's notice.
Jonathan could feel his heart beating in his eyes and ears and fingers. However, he rolled a 16, so this might be fine.
Longhorn. Ah, shit! Andrew must not have updated the memo in the staff room. Yes, for the record, the current password is Cat Tower. But we'll let you in for Longhorn. Just make sure you say Cat Tower next time, okay? A beep emanates from the speaker, and then you hear a metallic click, and the entire floor seems to rumble as if in an earthquake as the reinforced metal doors slide open, granting you access to the Vert Lab. I'm gonna put a picture up in Owlbear Rodeo.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. That's like 90% of what hacking is.
Yeah.
Well, it's just guessing the password.
It's some dipshit who doesn't know a fucking thing about OPSEC. You just get your hooks in them, you're good.
On the other side of the door is a vast open room that seems to take up the majority of this floor. It's bathed in harsh, neon purple lighting. All around you are wooden crates filled with recently manufactured Vert. Yet more Vert sits on a series of long metal tables at the back of the room, pressed up against a hulking piece of industrial equipment that you can only imagine is a machine that facilitates the manufacture of this drug. Concerningly, in the middle of the room are a series of 3 stretchers. Splayed out on each of them is a nude, pale-skinned corpse. Their faces locked in expressions of terrified pain. The skin peeled from the tops of their skulls and their bare brains visible to your naked eye. Beyond all this, 3 scientists clad in white lab coats and plastic biosuits are hunched over a fold-out card table, poring over reams of paperwork, diagrams and charts as they occasionally stop to sip from cups of steaming coffee. Keeping a watch over them, their backs turned to you, are 2 United Citadel security operatives clad in thick flak armor. It's at this point that I will reveal that prior to this session I made a reputation check to see if a debtor would appear. I rolled a d20, added your level, 3, and I got a dirty 20, which means a person who you owe your debt to is present in this session. I then rolled a d4 to determine who it was, and the result was one of the scientists, a man with a long black beard and thin, wiry hair, looks up at you. His face immediately wrinkles in recognition. Jonathan? Jonathan from TG Labs? The other scientists look up and the 2 security guards whirl around, their hands immediately on the butts of their weapons.
Do I recognize this person?
You do recognize this person.
Get ready for the other 10%.
You've got the call, Jonathan.
He goes by the name of Vance, or at least that's what you knew him as. Dr. Vance, junior head of R&D. He was the one who was determined to ensure that when the Corp let you go, you took nothing. It's because of him you didn't get a severance package, and it was to personally spite him that you made out with all of the equipment and misappropriated funds that you did. And he looks hella pissed right now. He frowns. Fancy seeing you here. Say, I heard you been swimming in the punk circles, been making quite a name for yourself, knocking off Virid drug dens and venturing out into ground zero. Well. What do you got to say for yourself, punk?
Yeah, this drug den's next, you sanctimonious prick. And he lobs a grenade at the group.
Lobs a grenade. All right.
And okay.
All right. So as he pulls the pin in the grenade and lobs it sails through the air. Vaughn's eyes go wide in shock as he and the other scientists scramble to hide under the table. The security guards raise their weapons and go ahead. Jonathan, roll a d3 for me.
2.
2. So two people. Well, this is just for the grenade. I'll still roll initiative in a minute.
Okay.
2 targets of your choice. I assume you'll choose the security guards.
Absolutely.
Get damaged by the grenade, and they are taking D6 points of damage. Go ahead, roll a D6.
Just 1 or 2?
Just roll 1, and they'll both take the same amount of damage.
That's a 4.
4 points of damage for both.
I think if they're armored, it does more or extra or something, but I'm not sure.
If it's a pulse grenade, yes. If it's a hand grenade, no.
Oh, no, it's just a hand grenade. Oh,
Just
I was
a
thinking
hand.
about vehicles and robots and things like that. Sorry.
So they take 4 points of damage, and I will roll for the security guards to see if their armor absorbs it. And they are both taking 3 by the looks of it. Okay. Jonathan, go ahead, roll me a d6 for initiative.
That's a 1.
A 1.
Will he ever go first?
Enemies go
Never.
first. So,
Never.
the security guards scramble to their feet after the force of the grenade explosion knocks them to the ground, and one of them raises his protector SMG, points it straight in Jonathan's direction, and fires at Jonathan, who's lit up all in green. So, Jonathan, this will cancel out your bodyguard. You're rolling normally.
Oh, ouchie. Okay.
Oh, that's what that does.
So go ahead and roll for me an agility acrobatics.
That's another -2 to the difficulty, though, because I've combat medic, so all agility rolls -2, yeah?
Yes. That
Wow.
is, so it goes down to 10.
Oh, that's 11, but I'm gonna glitch it.
No, you've already passed. You only needed 10.
Oh, wait, no, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. He unleashes a barrage of bullets. They slam into one of the drug tables behind you, sending powdered vert into the air. Clouds of green dust shoot up around you. The other security operative reaches for his utility belt, and he pulls out a flashbang grenade. He pulls the pin with his mouth, and he throws it in the vicinity of your group, and it explodes, and suddenly there's a high-pitched ringing in your ears. Kitty doesn't have the cyberware yet, so you are all currently...
I am in the bag, though.
Yeah, you are in the bag.
Isn't it a DR12, and if you fail it, you're stunned.
So
for
I'd like everyone to make DR12 toughness checks, and Kitty,
That's
you
the one.
make yours at DR10 because you're in the bag.
All right.
That's an 8.
8. Ooh, bad for Ghost.
Yeah, that's a 10 for me.
Bad for Jonathan.
I rolled an 18, so that's a 16.
16. Add Paradigm.
Jesus. Oof, that's an 8 for me.
Okay, so everyone except
That's a-
Kitty, who pulls the brim of the bag tight over her face as the flashbang goes off and bright white light fills the room for a fraction of a second. The three scientists lean out from behind their work table, clutching their 9mm pistols, and Dr. Vance fires at Jonathan. So Jonathan, that's DR12, +4 for the flashbang. You gotta get 16 here.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's 18.
18, nice!
Oh.
Vance swears loudly as you duck behind another table and the bullet slams into a bag of vert, sending more powdered green into the air. The next two raise their guns and point them directly at Paradigm. Paradigm, go ahead, roll me DR... well, you're close enough to Jonathan for his bodyguard to be in effect, so you're rolling DR10 to dodge both.
Yes, the first one's a 14.
14, and the second one?
It's 2. The second one's a 15.
15, nice. Alright, Jonathan, you're up.
Hiding behind a bag of vert, kind of like blowing into the air to kind of like swoosh some of the dust out of the way. He peers down the rails of his assault rifle and auto fires directly onto the security guards first.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll to hit. You are under flashbang, so you'll need to roll a 16 to hit him.
Don't forget to roll for the number of rounds.
Oh,
I know, I have, but I'm not revealing it.
That's a natural one.
Ooh! Would you like to glitch to prevent it being a
I'm
fumble?
I'm gonna glitch to remove the fumble.
Yep, so you just miss. You aim your gun at where you think he is, but when you pull the trigger, the bullets fly out and you blink, shake your head, and suddenly he's standing about a meter to the right of where he was. Alright, Ghost, you're up.
Was I under any cover yet?
You are not under cover, but you are flashbang grenades. So you would like to just rush to where Jonathan is to take cover, and then what else would you like to do?
I'm moving out of the way, unless there's anything else around them that make good cover.
Nah, probably the tables are the best thing.
Yeah,
is there an
I'm on my way
app you'd like to do? I will point out that both of these security guards are cybered. They have smart links.
I don't have any apps that are relevant for that, but I could. How would you guys feel if I made one of them Sire Rage?
Good.
I mean, he'd shoot whoever's closest to him, which would probably not be you. Yeah.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
the most distant one I'm going to use Borg Sugar on.
Yeah, nice. Alright, so we'll do that. Yeah, alright. Go ahead, make a knowledge technology check. It will be at DR14 because the web's currently got a few more firewalls than usual because of the mind worms.
To be sure, I'm going to use a glitch to lower the DR.
To 10. Good.
And that was not necessary. I got 15.
Lovely. You slot the cartridge in, unsling your cyber deck, fix the security guard in your eyes, and press enter, running the script. He rolls a 5 on his attempt to resist. He raises his gun to fire at you, but just as he's about to slam his finger on the trigger, he stops. And then, like a robot, turns his gun towards the man next to him as his smart jack unloads a torrent of malware into his nervous system. Alright, Kitty, you're up.
Alright, does he turn his gun on the other security guard or a scientist?
He's turned it on the other security guard.
Alright. Kitty is going to pop up out of the bag, fire her hand out to grab one of the scientists and try to reel herself to him to grapple him.
Oh, okay. So you rush out of cover towards him. towards the scientists, and as they raise their guns to fire, go ahead and make for me a strength melee roll.
Can do.
At just DR12, because you are not flashbanged.
Indeed, I was not. That's a 17.
17. So are you going for Vaughn or just one of the nameless ones?
I'll leave Warren for Jonathan.
Yeah, that's one. So,
and as I go for one of the nameless ones, I'll kick in the Strangler quality that I also had installed. And
as you rush towards the female scientist, she raises her pistol and fires, but you slide across the floor. The bullet whizzes over your head as you leap up, and the strangler cord shoots out of your hand, wrapping around her neck as you come to rest on her shoulders. Then what do you do?
Hey! 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage.
Does her head pop off?
You hear a loud crack. Her head does not pop off, but her neck instantly snaps. Her head tilts 90 degrees to the left, and she falls to the ground.
As Kitty pretty much hops off her lightly, retracting her hand, then pulls the monosword with her free one, looks at the other two scientists. Who's my next dance partner?
Shing! I would like...
A monosword now.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
sword.
upgraded.
It is Paradigm's turn.
Oh, yeah, so one guy's turn and one. And I'm just gonna, in my slightly dazed state, gonna try and shoot at the non-borged guard.
Non-borged guard, go ahead. You need to roll DR... yeah, DR14 because of bodyguard, so... Yep.
Well, it's an 18 to hit.
18 to hit, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Roll to hit him. Roll your damage.
My fully activated smart guns, now D10.
Jesus.
Fully activated and functional smart gun.
The smart link that's embedded in the right of your head begins to glow bright green as it syncs with your gun. And the bullet
8
finds
damage.
its mark. 13 damage. Oof.
8 damage, sorry.
8 damage, yep, alright. I will see if his... how his armor goes. Let's see. That's going to be a D4. He takes 6 points of damage as your bullet slams into a gap in his armor. But he's still up, somehow. He doesn't have time to react, however, because his friend, who's right next to him, raises his SMG and fires. And he's going to attempt to dodge.
Paradigm doing auto-fire?
Oh, were you auto-firing?
No, that was just a regular shot, so he's
Oh, okay, never mind, sorry.
He rolls a...
auto fire while blinded.
He rolls a 3 on his defense, and his friend riddles him with holes from the SMG, dealing an additional 4 points of damage. He falls to the ground and groans, still somehow alive, as he raises his gun and fires right at Paradigm. Go ahead, Paradigm. It is a DR10 to dodge.
Oh, exactly 10.
Exactly 10. He peels off a round, and you duck just as the bullets whiz past your head. The two remaining scientists turn their weapons towards Kitty and fire. Go ahead, Kitty. Roll to dodge both. DR12.
Fortunately, this is a place for being small. It can only help me.
Yes.
Dodge the first. Dodge the second. Both
the
17s.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
You hold up the body of the woman you just strangled, clutch her to yourself as they fire, and her body vibrates with the force of the bullets. At this point, there's enough powdered vert floating through the room that I'd like everybody to make me a toughness survival check.
Question. What happens if you never took off your envirosuit from the last mission?
Then you don't have to roll.
Alright, at least not till I get shot anyway, that'll leave a hole.
Well, this feels appropriate for Ghost. I rolled 3.
3? Oh, yep, definitely.
I have a breathing mask. Can I just pull that down and slap that on?
Yeah, slap that on. Though I will ask you to roll an agility instead for me at DR10 to see if you're quick enough to get it in place.
Sounds good.
And Paradigm?
Which one?
Oh my god.
Third.
That's another natural one.
Oh,
Oof.
oh god.
Jonathan,
Got any glitches left?
I do. I'm gonna non-fumble that.
non-fumble that. Okay. Paradigm?
That could have been
19.
19, yeah. So Paradigm and Kitty, you're fine. But Jonathan and Ghost, being right in the epicenter of where the powdered vert is, are right there in the middle of those green clouds, and you don't even realize you're inhaling it until it kicks in. So vert causes D6 hours of powerful hallucinations shared with other users. This vert hasn't yet been processed, so it's not going to cause D6 hours. Instead, it's only going to last until the end of this scene. But Ghost, you inhaled it first, so I'd like Ghost to describe exactly what kind of shared group hallucination she is pulling Jonathan into right now.
Oh god,
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
Let's be real, it's probably going to be a feverish nightmare of just so many random meme stimuli.
Yeah, it's just a barrage of memes. Not even current memes. Some of these go way back. They're the types of memes that only a degenerate like Ghost would know. Someone who's delved to the very, very bottom layers of the internet and pierced to the very beginning of where it all began. And before
What
you
do
know it,
badgers and mushrooms have to do with snakes?
before you know it, Jonathan, a square-shaped cat with a rainbow extending from its tail is zooming through the air towards you as a loud voice booms, "All your base are belong to us, all your base are belong to us, all your base are belong to us." And so Jonathan and Ghost, you are out this round, absorbed in the vert-induced hallucination.
Ghost
So-
goes in their phone for a turn.
Yeah, Ghost is just browsing memes for a turn. "Leroy Jenkins!" Ghost shouts, just at no one in particular. Alright, Kitty, you're up.
Well, scientist number 2. This one's she's just going to run up and try to cut him off at the knees with that monosword.
Yeah, go ahead, DR12 as per normal.
So a 17 says that's a happening.
Yeah, roll the damage.
That'll be another 6 points.
6 points, yeah. So the scientist turns around. He turns to run as you rush towards him, raise the monosword and slash first into the back of his knee, sending him sprawling to the ground, and then on the backswing, shing, neatly decapitating him.
Kitty's gonna look over at what's-his-name and go, "So at this point I'm gonna need a reason to keep you alive. Talk fast."
Yeah. After Paradigm, we'll go to Vaughn and see what his morale check does. Paradigm, you're up. You've got one security guard who's like heavily wounded on the ground, and the other one who's still sigh raging.
Oh, is the security guard on the ground like actually incapacitated, or just on
No,
the ground?
he's just on the ground. He's like looks like he's on the verge of death, but somehow, perhaps the cocktail of drugs that the corp forces into his veins to keep him in a constant state of bloodlust is still going.
Oh, okay, so they have at least 16 health then.
And those two are sort of away from everyone else, aren't they? It's like
Yeah.
Kitty and the scientists are one group, and then it's the two guards, and then
Yeah.
the other three of us are over one spot.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just trying to decide, do I finish that guy, or do I try and weaken the Psy Raging guy and then let the Psy Raging guy finish off the other security guard?
Yeah, because you're gonna have to deal with him after he's done Psy Raging.
Yeah.
Decisions.
I'll weaken the Psy Raging one, and then hope he just takes out his friend.
So you've been flashbanged, so you've got to roll a DR 10 to hit him. And this will be the last round of the flashbang.
Yay.
Well, your next round. The enemies go and then it expires.
Yeah. Yes, so it'll be regular present shot.
Let's see if you can hit him.
That was a 16.
16, you hit him, yeah. Go ahead, roll the damage.
Roll. Ah, only a 1 on damage.
Only a 1. Well, I don't need to roll for his armor because it can't ever reduce below 1. So your bullet just chips the side of his shoulder plate as he's whirling around, firing wildly, and you can't really get a bead on him. Okay, so I'm going to roll morale for Vaughn right now. 2d6. Vaughn looks at Kitty and he just raises his hand in the air, dropping his gun, and it clatters to the ground. Okay, he says. He's giving up. And then he immediately sinks to his knees in front of you. The security guard who's on the ground raises his weapon and fires at Paradigm. Paradigm, DR 10 to resist, to dodge.
Up to 12.
12. Lovely. He empties his gun, firing at you as you dodge, and you watch as the Psy-Raging security guard steps up close to his friend, places his gun at his temple, and pulls the trigger, splurting his brains all over the floor. And then, his Psy-Rage wears off. He sees the body of his friend, his partner, his lifelong buddy who saw him through the academy, who was there from the very first day, lying dead, bleeding out at his
He was going to
feet.
retire in 2 days, damn it.
And he's going to roll. He's going to make a morale check of his own. Unfortunately, he passes the morale check, so instead he just screams, "Ah!" Points his gun towards Paradigm, who he vaguely registers as the one who hit him before, and fires. Go ahead, Paradigm. DR 10 to dodge.
Oh god. Ooh, 10 total.
10 total. Ooh, he hits you. So that will be 6 points of damage.
Armor.
Ooh,
Go ahead, roll your armor.
my armor reduces. Got my new rough armor, so it's D4 now.
Ooh, lovely.
Good man.
No, it's 2 though, so it reduces it to 4 damage.
4.
4 damage altogether. And that is an auto fire, so he turns his gun and fires upon Kitty as well. Go ahead, Kitty, DR 12.
Whoop! Oh, he's out of it. Oh, that's fine. With the 16, that's no worries.
Yeah, he unleashes the rest of his clip, and they pepper the wall behind you. And with that, as the memes that are swirling through the room around Jonathan and Ghost begin to subside, and a dark-haired Japanese boy in a school uniform appears in the middle of the room, clapping, "Congratulations!" And then his teacher, a woman in her mid-20s who looks stunning in that pencil skirt, claps along, shouting, "Congratulations!" And they chant in unison, "Instrumentality!" You regain just enough of your senses that you're able to act. So Jonathan, you're up first. You're still in the hallucination, but you're now halfway between the real world and the other world. Oh yeah, and Ghost, you're just seeing everyone around you just turn into a flood of orange soda that splashes in a torrent across the floor.
Love it.
As a free action, can I pull on the breathing mask now?
Yeah, pull on the breathing mask and... You won't get any more high than you already are, at least.
But at least it's all downhill from here. Or uphill,
Yeah.
whichever way is better.
What would you like to do?
Jonathan has been training his weapon on things that aren't there for the last round, kind of following them around, and blinks, realizing that maybe things aren't exactly as they seem, and does his best to aim at the remaining security guard.
Yeah, go ahead, roll to hit him. You're no longer flashbang, but you're still feeling the effects of Vert, so that's going to be +2 to the DR to hit him. So that's going to be a 14.
Yep, I'll auto fire as well.
Yep.
That's a 12.
It's a 12. You raise your gun to fire at him, and he raises his gun to fire back at you, but then suddenly his body dissolves into orange liquid and seeps away into the floorboards. And so you lower your weapon, deciding not to take the shot. Ghost, you're up.
How's the old noggin doing?
Yeah, you're able to choose what you want to do, but you're still having trouble discerning the world of Eva and the world of Psy apart. You've got like the instrumentality happening. You got the instrumentality happening around you, and it's got like Eva 26.avi floating as a glyph in front of your face, and then right next to you there's Psy.exe.
Right. Okay. Who's the closest to our group?
Just be the security guard. He's the only one left fighting. Everyone else has given up.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll just shoot him.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll
Horrifying.
DR14 to hit him.
That's it's 11.
Yeah. And just as you're about to hit him, his body morphs. His bulky figure, his armor condenses down into the slender form of a woman. She winks and she says, "I'll give you the rest when you come back." And then we cross to Kitty.
Well, the man sent a broadside my way, so I'm going to try to go for the strangle.
For the strangle,
Let's see how he deals with this.
AR-12.
With a 10, I don't quite get it.
For 10, you don't quite get it.
That's a 6. My bad.
Yeah.
Still doesn't get it.
You rush
He dodges
towards
the
him, and as you're about to leap, he kicks forwards, hitting you in the torso, sending you sprawling. And Paradigm, you're up.
Cool.
What would you like to do?
One guard still fighting.
Yep, he's the only one left.
Chainsaw.
I'm kind of done with fighting in the meth lab, so He's gonna holster his gun, just hold out a hand, and just delete.
Delete.
Try,
You get it?
try and use to dust on him.
Yeah, delete his armor and his weapon, leaving him effectively defenseless. Go ahead, make your presence check.
I guess it's a regular check, but it's DR14 because it's on someone.
Yes. Because he is using his weapon.
Yeah.
And his armor.
That is. Oh, what is that? 21 total on the activation.
21
So-
total, nice. He raises his gun to fire it in your direction, and as his finger clasps around the trigger, the swarm of nanobots emerges from your body, buzzing around him like a big black cloud. You hear him scream, and then seconds later, when the cloud disperses, he's holding a piece of disjointed, misshapen plastic in his hand, and his flak jacket has been reduced to tatters. And combat is over. He immediately holds his hands in the air, signaling his surrender, and kneels down at Kitty, in front of Kitty, right next to Dr. Vance.
First things first, no calling out, says Kitty, pulling out the Herf gun and drilling him twice in the forehead.
You see the light in their eyes flicker as their retinal implants immediately shut down. They gasp and fall forwards as if freeing them from their retinal implants has essentially sent an electric shock through their nervous systems.
Alright, got any questions for this lot? Kitty says, walking around as she starts looking around the lab.
At your feet, the two men are gasping, sounding like someone who's been pulled out of the ocean as their nervous systems struggle to make sense of the world without retinal implants. Jonathan, here he is, your tormentor. He's helpless at your feet.
Since he's still having a bit of trouble telling fantasy from reality, it's a little hard for Jonathan to tell that that's Vaughn, but he kind of knows. So he just kind of like pokes and prods him with the assault rifle, the barrel nudging his cheek, like deforming it very slightly as it smooshes his face a little bit.
Yeah, every time it hits him, a piece of his cheek breaks off and it turns into orange liquid, just dropping away.
God, why are you always such a prick?
Why are you here? I thought the corpse would... I underestimated you. Thought that we had you dead to rights. I was looking forward to cashing in your bounty.
You're not going to be cashing in any bounty today.
What's it gonna take for you to let me live?
Jonathan just kind of like watches as bits of him drift off his face and arms. He isn't sure exactly how to even parse the question.
I'm going to say that we need to be getting up to the 30th floor fast, and if there's any information you have on that penthouse and the... What's her name?
Oh, Jinkai! Yeah!
Yeah, her! The
He
more you
looks-
tell us, the more likely you are to live through this.
He looks up at Jonathan, a pained, pleading look on his face. And if I tell you, you won't try to get even for what I did back in TG Labs?
while Jonathan kind of sways with the gun in his hand, he accidentally fires it as it goes through his leg.
The bullet slams into the concrete half an inch away from where Vance's head is, kissing the dirt in front of you. He screams, "Ah!"
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, why am I sorry? You're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I won't try to claim the bounty. I'll go into hiding. TG won't ever hear from me again, and I just please. It was years ago, Jonathan. It was years ago. I'm sorry. I just when I found out you were from the hills, that smug grin you always used to have on your face, and look, water under the bridge. Just let me go, I won't speak of it again. And as far as TG Labs is concerned, I never saw you.
This is still not pausing entirely with Jonathan, but he starts to catch up. Oh, Fawn! Oh, I remember you from TG Labs. Wait, I remember you from TG Labs. Oh, no, this is not ending well for you.
Yeah. Do you want to borrow the chainsaw?
Yeah, Paradigm's just gonna grab the chainsaw, turn it on, and it revs. Vance's face goes wide. He scrambles forwards, wraps his arms around Jonathan's legs, and he says, "Please, there's the delivery elevator straight up to Sloane's penthouse. I'll give you the access code and everything. Please."
This situation is still woozy. Jonathan's a little bit bemused by the weird shapes that the chainsaw makes as it kind of like flops around like animatedly instead of going in a perfectly circular pattern.
I'd be spitting out those access codes quick, mate. Says Kitty. Yeah.
649 Alpha Beta Fox. I'll let me guess. You want to put this factory out of commission too? I'll encrypt the machinery. Delete the production protocols from the system. They won't be able to spit out anymore.
Do it quickly. Says Kitty. And no funny business. He might be high, but I'll be watching you closely.
Unlatches himself from Jonathan and crawls over to the hulking manufactory in the center of the room. There's a small silver pipe sticking out one end, and on a tray in front of it are various what look like coloured crystals glowing in all sorts of bright hues: green, blue, red. You take these, you drop them in, and it makes vert, but it needs the protocol to do it. It needs to know how to break them down to their base form, and he slumps against the machine, opens a hatch, and pulls out a keyboard that slides out on a tray, and starts typing away furiously.
So just throw him in each one, she says.
Throw him in, and vert comes out, and as he types, Ghost, I'd like you to make me a knowledge technology check.
That is 16.
You step up towards Kitty, peering over Vance's shoulder and watching as he types furiously into the terminal. He's sending an encrypted message up to Sloane's penthouse. SOS, assassins, sent by TG Labs. Prepare defense.
Are you gonna let that through, Ghost? You're muted.
That's entirely up. Yeah, you might have
Stop it.
Yeah,
I'd
think of what you
recommend
could do with
stopping
it.
that one.
Yeah, alright.
Sort of shut it down entirely.
Yeah.
As he raises his finger, about to hit the enter button, you deftly tap your temple, wirelessly sending a script, and the message is instantly deleted, sending an empty package up to Sloane's penthouse.
Jonathan wanders over to him, still holding the gun at about like waist height instead of like the proper way he was taught, and gestures towards him. Vaughn, if I were you, I would in fact go into hiding. And I'd leave now, actually. There's going to be a fire here any time now.
It's done, he says, jumping away from the keyboard, violently sliding it back into the hulking machine. There won't be any more vert made here, and Jonathan, thank you. If anyone asks, if anyone from TG Labs tracks me down, I didn't see you. And then he gets to his feet and he turns, sprinting across the lab towards the entrance. The question is, do you let him go?
Yeah, no, Jonathan will look out the door and make sure he's actually going to the elevator to go down, rather than the stairs to go up.
You raise your gun and you follow him, keeping it trained on him. And when he exits the door, he turns ever so slightly, looking at the staircase leading up. And then he looks over his shoulder, sees you, and he swallows silently. And then makes his way to the elevator. Down, 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 he says, jamming the button. And then when the elevator takes more than 10 seconds to arrive, he just shrugs and starts barreling down the stairwell instead. You watch him. Watch until he disappears through the doorway to floor 16, listening to his footsteps echoing down the hallway. And then he's gone.
You know, this is exactly why I'm in this position. They knew I was soft. They knew I wouldn't, fight back. They knew I wouldn't screw them over, so off he goes, I guess.
You let your nemesis live another day. Noble, are you? We'll see how it works, though. Kitty kneels down next to the security guard. Did you see how that guy betrayed you? In fact, when they come to interrogate you and explain what happened, I think you should tell them it was all his fault, and she'll use the power of friendship to command him to do so. But not with the 6, never mind.
Yeah.
Here comes some feedback.
You take how much damage?
1d2 says 2 points again.
You take 2 points of damage as the biofeedback from your crystal surges through your body. But you lock eyes with him, and he locks eyes with you. And then he nods. For a friend! And then he salutes. My captain! My captain!
Alright, we're gonna choke you out and drag you clear. You'll live. And Kitty proceeds to do just that.
And with that, we'll end the session. Well done, guys.
Stupid green ink.
Green ink, yeah. And it's still gonna be there when you get to the penthouse. You gotta like actively find some. You unless you find a lot.
I was gonna say,
dude, we're in the middle of a drag lab. They got chemicals that can get rid of this shit.
Yeah, they probably
There's also a
do,
security guard lying there with a nice outfit I could steal.
Yes.
Well, he had a nice outfit.
Oh, he
Very
had
true.
one, yes.
Yeah. So everyone gains 1d4 hit points, and go ahead and roll your ammo.
The only damage I've taken this session is the damage I've done to myself.
Yeah, from your biofeedbacks. Yeah, you got through that combat. The only person who got shot was Paradigm right near the end.
Yeah.
I don't need to reload. I haven't needed to reload, but 3
Yeah.
games now. That is a big
God.
flip.
Does anyone need to reload? Because I hope that combat at least drains some of your resources.
I haven't fired a single round.
Yeah, no, you haven't. Well,
Eh,
so you got into Jinghai Sloane's tower, made your way to the Vert Lab, and with a minimum of fuss, managed to shut it down. You're earning that large sum of money that Vera Coilings and her collective are putting your way. And at this point, you're confident that you're doing a lot better than they expected you to. You're nearly there. You've come this far. Jinghai Sloane has no idea that you're coming. Okay. I would like Ghost to go ahead roll a d6 for me.
Okay. 4.
For no miserable headline. You're lucky. Sai continues on as normal. The simulation continues to run. Ignorant of the infinitesimal errors that are slowly but surely sneaking into its code, corrupting the very fabric of reality itself.